Hello, everybody. Welcome to another one of our entrepreneurship spotlights. Today, we're talking to Maria Gorshin. She is a TripSchool grad. She's taken some of our courses, and she has pivoted in this challenging time, as everyone has had to do, into doing her own business and operating her own unique tours. Hi, Maria. How are you?
Hi, Alan. Very nice to see you. Thanks for
Good.
having me.
Absolutely. I've been excited about, the things you've been posting and the things you've been doing. And I'm hoping you can give us some inspiration so that others out there who are contemplating what to do with their lives during this downtime can get some inspiration from your story. So first of all, where are you located?
I'm located right outside of Philadelphia in a little historic town on the New Jersey side, Haddonfield.
The same one where Michael Myers goes every year, right?
That's what everyone says, of course. But it's funny, one of the co-writers on that film actually grew up here, so she used the name Haddonfield for that film. But it's very
Interesting.
uncreepy, very uncreepy here.
Do you guys get like a Halloween sort of thing going there, or
Huge. Halloween is crazy here. There's
really?
one main street where it easily gets like 2,000 children up and down the street. Not so much this year, but normally.
Amazing. Well, I
Um,
want to I want to talk about your company. Do you want to tell us about your company and how you got the idea for it and what you're doing with it now?
Yeah, absolutely. City Girl Tours is the name, and I absolutely am passionate about sharing the joy of travel. Lately, that travel is hyper local. So when I looked around and I realized right here in our community, in our region, there's tons of families that are homeschooling that really don't necessarily want to be homeschooling yet. They haven't discovered the joy of that. So I redirected my tours to sort of cater really to families and children. So my tours are like the Disney model. It's like 80% fun, 20% education. And but before that, of course, I've been leading tours in Philadelphia, New York City, and Washington D.C. I would say 90% for adults, and then like 10, 20% for children for education groups.
So you worked for a very, very large tour operator, and mostly, I guess, seniors would be the clientele. How did you pivot from, working with seniors to mastering dealing with children, or is it kind of the same?
It's funny. Such a great question. When before I went into this beautiful industry, I actually used to teach. So I have my master's degree in education, in elementary education. It was really simple to pivot only because it really comes down to heart. If you really love your guests, you can do it. You just sort of like get very sensitive to their needs. I think all of us are children on the inside, so it's really not that difficult to shift to. One thing it did have to change though, expressiveness. I think when you're speaking with adults, you can be more muted and more sort of personal. Children really want that pizzazz. They want that movement and the animation.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I learned that within the first 5 minutes of my first children's tour. I was like, uh-oh, I'm losing them. Wait. Start moving, start getting animated. And
That's amazing.
it's good energy. I love it.
In our entrepreneurship courses, we actually had a big discussion about working with kids during this time when so many are stuck at home, and parents are just dying to get out there and give their kids something to do. So creating field trips, using what you know as a tour director, and obviously with your degree in education,
Mhm.
putting together just basic things that can help kids get out and still learn during this downtime, I think is kind of the key. I mean, local travel is what we're seeing picking up first. But definitely there's a market there that's untapped of basically creating these experiences for kids. What would you say is the most popular experience that you've put together for a group of kids?
Definitely the chocolate tour.
Mm,
And what's really beautiful is seeing the parents enjoy it just as much as the kids. And the older siblings were sort of dragging along, like, I don't want to be here. And they're smiling, they're engaged. So the chocolate tour, we start off with, there's a charming little gazebo in town. I launch into the history of chocolate, but with lots of visuals, really funny little props that I bring with me. And then from there, we visit the historic landmarks in our town, and I link our historic landmarks to the history of chocolate. It's not as difficult as
oops,
it
we lost you.
seems.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun. And the parents are, you watch them go from, I'm just here because my child needs an activity, to like, really? I never heard of that. I never saw that in our town. So it's very, very exciting.
That's
I love
great. That's
Oh,
great.
and my favorite thing about it is it also links uh, people to local businesses. So I'm supporting the local businesses too. I make sure that our local chocolate businesses, we have three of them, are part of the tour. So bringing people into those businesses, seeing the energy that you know comes out of that, they get to share their family stories. It's a win-win-win. I love
Awesome.
it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's great news to hear that there's actually hope out there for people if they just want to be innovative and create a new experience. So, thanks for inspiring those around you. Any advice for people that are thinking of doing this kind of thing on their own? What was the hardest, I guess, what was the stumbling blocks you encountered along the way before you could build this up?
Um, I think fear, I think worry. I feel like it's probably, if you can get past your fear and your inhibition, you're halfway there. If you can just focus on what are the needs of the people around you and what's the message that you're trying to share and the purpose, it drives you forward. If you're worried, it won't work. If you focus on your message, which is we're all in this together, we're going to do this safely, we're going to create community, we're going to support the community, and here's some really genuinely interesting stories that are worth telling and sharing those, it just drives you. It pushes the worry aside. That was my, and the other thing I would recommend is please reach out to your local organizations, whether it's tour organizations or your chamber of commerce or something like that, because everybody is looking for support and new ways of doing things. If you're coming in with a solution or part of a solution, I think you get a lot of support in that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We always promote your local convention visitor bureaus, that kind of thing, but also mommy groups, parent groups. We've had some
Definitely.
success. We've seen some success with some operators using those sort of forums to kind of put those things out there. So again, I guess the message is just stay with it, be confident in what you're doing, and if you build it, they will come. Wouldn't you say?
I totally agree. 100% agree.
Awesome. Well, Maria, thank you for taking time to talk to us today. We wish you nothing but success and luck in this endeavor of yours. And we're all going to be there to support you, as trip schoolers always do support each other. So make sure you keep posting all your updates. And for those of you guys who want to check out Maria's information, she's on Instagram under City Girl Tours. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Perfect. All right.
And Ellen, again, thank you for all you and Mitch are doing. You're keeping us sane.
Well,
you.
we're going insane while we're keeping you insane, but it's worth it because when we hear stories like yours, it just inspires us to keep putting stuff out there and keep going. So you're our inspiration as well. So thank you so much, Maria. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan. Hope to see you again.